welcome. This is the second Midnight Madness. I love our crew here. Thank you guys for joining us in the studio and also in the chat. As you guys know, for Midnight Madness, we rely on you guys to supply us with laughter. And then we'll supply you guys with laughter as we go around. Let me see. So we have a magic word of the hour. And if you are new, I know that we do have, I think I saw 2 people that were new. This is their very first hangout. Can you imagine? This is their very first hangout, and they chose Midnight Madness. This will be interesting. So the secret word is selfies. And what you want to do is you want to type in that word. You can type it in upper lowercase, however you want to do it. And you can type it in a million times if you want, but only 1 vote per person. Pretty much, I guess vote is the best way to say it. At the end of this live cast, what we'll do is we will draw a name for everybody who typed that word in to win a prize. So what number is this for Midnight Madness? Oops, for all of you. I could tell you Kathy and I started it, and I don't know when. That's all I know. That's all I know.
You bribed me with a cannoli, if I recall.
Yeah, it was. And you promised eggplant parmesan over to my side. And then Vicky, I know from Saturday Roundups. Mm-hmm. And then Steven, I know from just being all around. I gotta tell you, I bug everybody throughout WikiTree when I have a brick wall or somebody needs help. And then Darren, we work together on so many different things. And lately the checkers, but with Darren and I've worked on a lot of different things, including the very first WikiTree day. Was that 3 years ago? 2023?
Oh wow! Seems like
yeah.
So he's got WikiTree 15.
So that's been quite a while. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, so I type in selfies again at the end of this particular live cast. We will do a drawing. WikiTree has given us permission for Midnight Madness to be a little bit longer, but we still want to try and keep it around 30 minutes. So the best thing to do is who has the stats? Where are we at number wise?
Let me look real quick. I have the stats page open. We are at 45,774. I'm working on 45,775 as we speak. So, yeah.
As we speak. I don't know the numbers and how we compare to last year. And there's a way to find out, but the best and easiest way to find out is come back here in 4 hours and ask Alesh, because he has wonderful data and charts and everything. I am currently blocked from the scoreboard, and so are you too, right, Vicky?
Yeah.
Currently blocked, and Steven too. Yeah, currently blocked.
All because of the spam bots and stuff. And LS has
Thanks, spammers.
11, so we need to be very secure.
And I will say, Shelley, that this is your 5th Connect-a-thon, so about my 15th Midnight Madness. And it's interesting to bring this up because Kathy and I used to talk about we'd be like, okay, so I'm going to be there at 10 minutes before Midnight Madness starts. So we used to call it Midnight Madness before we told everybody it was Midnight Madness, I guess. So it's like, and welcome. This is my first thon and my first madness. So Diane, I hope we don't disappoint you on either. This is kind of the middle Midnight Madness has kind of just random questions. Tomorrow's when it gets real silly because we're all tired, right? We've all been around, and that's true. It's right, Nancy. I remember saying is midnight because it was always midnight. And the reason why I always volunteered for the midnight ones is because everybody in my house was asleep. And I've started when my kid was still, I think, in high school. Now he's in college. Wow. Thank you for mentioning this. Any more bingo after the 8 p.m. Livecast? Because we had a really good conversation about biographies and rank. And I noticed some of you snuck in a few questions that I did not answer, and I apologize. So if you're in here, and I want to thank Mel Amanda for answering the question. There is no more bingo, but it's on hold. It never. I like A1's phrase, "Never say never." But the reason why there is no more bingo is because we didn't have enough viewers. And if you can't win a prize for 2 months, then it got really kind of difficult to give out prizes. And then somebody did mention, can you, that's okay if we're not going to do bingo, but can you bring back the show that had the free space pages, which I personally loved. It was fantastic. So if you guys want something like that, talk to the powers that be. I guess that's the best thing I can suggest to you. And there you go. Thank you, Darren. And Darren, thank you also for putting in the chat. Every so often, you'll see Darren pop up with the totals. So thank you so much. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is they're guested connections. And I'm going to post the link here to guested connections. If you see Chris and I tomorrow at noon Eastern, it's too late to guess. So make sure you guess. Now, Chris, did you guess already?
Oh, yes, I did.
Are you going to share?
No.
Because we're going to go see it on T2T.
I don't want to jinx it. I have number one with my guests. I have number one with my guests, like ever.
$1, Bob. Someone's going to $1 you.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Number next door.
And I will tell you, the Bingo mug is the best seller in the store. It's still the highest one. Now, since the word is selfies, I want to also post the selfie. And at the 8 o'clock hour, I gave everybody a personal challenge. I think it was then, or was it the noon? Might have been the noon hour, Chris. I don't know. We've been here all day, haven't we?
Yeah.
To go to social media and tell everybody that you're working on WikiTree's Connect-a-thon, but not just that. If you're in a rabbit hole, tell people what that rabbit hole is. If you're working on a particular location or one place study or one name study, then give that particular name or one place study link as well, because you never know. You might have another researcher out there. But right now, I'm going to challenge everybody after the show to share a selfie. Because if you saw the intro, that's what Azure does. She takes the selfies from the last Connect-a-thon or last thon and puts them together. And so share a selfie. So real easy to do. If you have any problems, just reach out to any one of us that you see here and we'll help you out. Go to the General Thon channel on Discord and do that as well. Okay. So the deal with Midnight Madness, for those of you that are new, is by this time, pretty much the Americans are sleepy. Most of them have been thawing most of the day, and our brains are kind of like tired. And then the Europeans are usually just coming on board. So it's a fantastic global mix. As you can see, Vicky's in her sweatshirt or her hoodie, and so is Darren. So that shows you they're part of the global world. Chris and Steven are in their t-shirts. So obviously not too chilly there. So the global world. It is
not chilly here. No.
The global world comes together at midnight, and we decided the best way to get to know each other is to ask really interesting, serious questions to everybody. And the people that you're looking at on camera here, they don't know the questions. They're going to answer them on the fly, and so are you. So out there,
I'm already being asked questions in the chat, though.
Yeah. So those of you that are in the chat, we want you to answer these questions as well. Now tonight, because as you know, I am moving as well. That's why it looks a little different. I am been sleeping on an air mattress all week, and I'm tired, and been still moving and lifting things. And we got our truck stuck in the mud today. You know, the Georgia clay. So that was also fun. So the random questions today, they make no sense, but they sort of have a tie-in to the word home. So you guys ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the first one. Now, yesterday I asked a question. Would you rather go back in time or forward in time? And I think almost everybody said back in time, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make it more personal. I'm going to change it up to make it more personal. So and remember, we want you guys to answer in chat too. So would you rather travel back in time specifically to meet your ancestors, or would you rather travel forward in time specifically to meet your descendants?
Ooh.
I know.
I don't have any
Well,
descendants.
That's an easy one for me. I don't have any children, so always back
I don't
to
think
my
so.
prequel. Directly to my prequel.
Right.
Yeah, childless people for the win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd you talk to? Sandy? Who'd you talk to? I didn't do anything, man. I didn't do anything.
Okay.
So we're still, yeah. So here's like Lynn. So I have no children, so there's no choice really.
Sandy,
Yes.
you just made that one difficult for me, but I am here. I'm driving. That's why I have no picture on the screen.
Oh, darn.
I
Driving
will
safely.
go. I will go forward in time to check on my descendants, just because of the relationships my kids have with each other.
See.
To see what they look like after my husband and I are gone.
Oh.
Aw. See, that's why I said I make it a little bit challenging, but I gotta tell you guys, Stephen, you're saying the no kid route, and we have a
Well,
couple people.
If I go back in time, I'm gonna get burned at the stake as a heretic. So it's kind of dangerous to go back in time. It depends. Depends on where you end up. Where is very important, right?
So a lot of people are. So this is really kind of interesting to me because most people again are saying back in time. I thought I had you guys on this one. I thought for sure you guys would go, oh, I changed my answer. I definitely
You know
changed
how
my
big of a
answer.
Back to the Future fan I am, right? Well,
Yeah.
I already went back in
has
time
to
in
know where
May.
they come from. Everybody's saying brick walls as well.
I already went back to 1955 in May.
1955?
Did you have
I
a
went to
DeLorean?
California, and I went to Courthouse Square. They had a big event, and they had reenactors who were playing characters from the films. You could talk to them as if you were the Marty or whoever. You just landed there, and then the events of the film were like happening, and at the end they had a lightning strike the clock tower, and they rotated that every every hour or so. And then all the places that they filmed across Southern California, we were like traveling in a van and like heading in and taking photos and being nerds and
But
taking
you didn't
tours.
really go back.
Of course I went back. Of course I did.
Hey, Kathy, I'm going to mute you, or can you mute yourself and then just pop open? There you go. Just pop open. So I love this Mark back in time because his puppies are fixed. But Karen, this is where this is what I was thinking for me. That's really hard because I would like to go back and meet my great grands, especially, but I want to go forward and check on my son and his life as well. He would tell me, no, mom. Go back. Definitely go back.
Controlling mom.
And this one's sweet. I think I would hug with my mom would win. So that one's just really sweet. Okay, so the next question, this is again, these are kind of related somehow, some way to home. And I did promise everybody I'm going to make you think as well. And the next question, where was your first family vacation?
Oh, I know that.
To the beach.
Disney World. You read the blog.
Yeah.
Disney World.
That was
World.
mine too. That was mine
That was
too.
mine too.
Yeah, you read the blog, Sandy. So
Yep, I did. Darren, what about you?
Be somewhere around the North Island of New Zealand.
And this is hard. This would be the first one that you kind of really remember. You might have been taking places as a baby, and things like that. But
I mean, my parents were telling me about this trip that we all took with the Coppolas to Montreal, but I was like 2 years old. So I obviously don't remember.
So just the ones that there's what you would remember. Chris, your camera is really foggy.
Yeah.
Hang on.
What year did you go to Disney World?
1985, 1986.
Oh, I refuse to answer that question.
You are generation beyond. Yeah, mine was like 92.
Oh gosh, now I really refuse to answer that question. You guys are going to date me.
Was it Knott's Berry Farm, 1975?
No, actually, I went to that one in the 80s.
Yeah.
No, I remember it vividly because I was 8 years old and we were traveling from Tennessee down to Florida, driving for Atlanta, and my dad couldn't see the street signs, and so I had to verify what they were for them. Like, these are the big green signs. It wasn't like small signs; it was big ones. And it was having some issues, but I became the navigator from that point on, and so ever since I've had a really strong spatial awareness because I'm just constantly involving with maps and doing that. So age 8, I was like looking at the map, I was highlighting the route, I was doing all of that stuff.
All before GPS.
Yeah, all pre-GPS, all apps on your phone. It was all about the road atlas.
Yeah, we actually have a picture of when Epcot Center was under construction, the spaceship Earth. We have a picture of that.
Oh, and that was the same trip as Universal Studios, where I rode the Back to the Future ride. That was the same as MGM Studios, where I saw Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones. All of that stuff was happening at the same time.
So you went back in time.
Oh,
You actually did.
And that was a fun trip. That was the only time I've actually been to World and those places. But yeah,
I like Julia's answer. I was packed off. I'm fairly certain I was packed off to my uncle and aunties when my parents went away. And it's tough, and it's interesting to see now. The circus stuff at Baraboo. Do you know that we have one place study with Baraboo? It's just a fascinating town. I'd never knew about it.
With that one. Oh wait, it wasn't me that made it. It was one of the people that branched off from mine. I have the county for it, and then the city grew out of it.
So yeah, we don't do counties for one place studies anymore.
No, I was told that.
Where is Baraboo?
Sauk County, Wisconsin. So it's to the northwest of me, about 100 miles or 150 kilometers.
Oh.
And then this is true a lot of times to visit family. So when you move away and then you go back to visit family as well. So those were big events and those were big vacations. Yeah. And I should mention to those that are new, the reasons why we kind of ask these kind of off the wall crazy questions, we call them bio builders. So there might be a question that you answer tonight that you could put a little bit more description on your own biography or parents or something like that. Okay. So again, I did tell you these were kind of wacky tonight and all over the place. So the next question is, if you had the opportunity, if you had chosen your own name, what would your first name be?
I don't know. I like the name Chris.
Now, is it Christopher or Chris? Is Christopher?
Yeah. Yes.
Vicky, I just shared the link in our private chat, so you can check it out.
Oh, thank you. I would probably go with my middle name, which is Antonia.
Oh, I like that name.
Yeah, I like it.
My middle name is Michael, so yeah.
Is that your middle name?
Yes.
That's my middle name too.
Twinsies.
Oh, wait, that's I can't see myself as any name other than that. Other than what I've got.
You guys are definitely see, this is why, Lisa, and named daughter Lisa. That's really kind of cool. And then all that start with the same name. But I gotta tell you that, Ruth, this is kind of why I brought this up. Some people really love their name and some people really don't love their name. Like I don't, my name is my name. I don't have one way or another, but everybody spells my official name wrong, and that just annoys me. So that's where. And then I really like my name. However, I went to school with Elke. That sounds lovely, and I've always liked that name.
Oh, I've heard it pronounced Elka. Like there's people in
It's
Germany. with that
German.
name.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so, and think about, those that you've worked with around WikiTree and been around WikiTree. So here's a good example. So David's no longer David. Now I'm just going to call him Michael from now on.
Great. Now you have 3 Michaels.
A third Michael.
And here's a good. I don't have a middle name, so I once decided Sue would be my middle name. I like my name as it is, so I think that's kind of cool too. And then I've always disliked my name, even before I realized I was non-binary. It's a very feminine name. So I forget.
Very nice name.
Ellis, did you say that you would go by Avery? I know I posted it up just a moment ago. Would you go by Avery or Ellis? But that's kind of important too. If you just don't like your name, then you could change it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of friends about that.
But I am Steven. That's who I am now.
Yeah, hi. How you doing? I'm Ken Adams.
I know. And then you would also have to remember that you changed your name. So if somebody said Steven and you changed your name to Mark, and they keep you on name Mark and you don't answer, but you will to Steven.
Maybe
so
I could be a Latino lover, Esteban. That sounds nicer.
Yeah,
I always thought, like, what are the other variations of my name in other languages?
Mine
but in
is
Spanish, it's
Cristofo
Esteban.
Mine's Cristofo in Italian. So, yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
It is Esteban.
Oh, it's Esteban.
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 It still sounds like Steven. It just has an in front of it.
Yeah.
And this is kind of another thing too. So I will tell you that my father-in-law, my his first child, my husband's brother, was named Art. And this is a fascinating kind of weird genealogy thing. His name was Arthur. They named him that. And a week later, his father convinced him to not name him Art because it rhymes with something. So if you go look in the genealogical records, it actually is typed in and then it's a line and then handwritten in Joseph. So it's kind of wild to see on a genealogical record, they corrected it just by pen and ink on a typed document. And this is the county. This wasn't the parents. This was the actual legal document that they did that to. So pretty interesting. Okay. So moving right along, we had in our Thon channel, we had something yesterday called an ice cream social. So we just kind of were all tired and we met up on a G-Meet, Discord meet, G-Meet. And I was the only one that brought ice cream. Everybody else brought other snacks. So I figured, let's go ahead and ask, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
That's a tough one. It depends on where the ice cream is from. If we're going to the moves down the street, I would have to go with maple walnut. They make really good maple walnut ice cream. But there's also mint chocolate chip. I like that too.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Mint chip. That's what Kathy and I were talking about.
I like it too.
And
my favorite mint chocolate chip.
I like that one too. But my favorite, I don't know if you have it, so I'll tell the name. It's raisins with rum.
Oh, rum raisin.
Rum
we
raisins?
call it rum raisin here. Yeah.
Okay. That's my favorite.
I haven't heard that in a while. Wow. And we usually get it in the store around Christmas time.
Mm.
Do you have it year round?
I have it in my freezer right now.
It came to our ice cream social.
So here's a postulation.
Smurf Blue. Is there a Smurf Blue?
Florian, he lives. Flo is here.
Cool. And then Fudge Ripple. Yeah. I remember having Fudge Ripple as a kid, and a banana split, like a real banana split, though not out of the pint. That is just something that's really awesome.
And now, Sandy, I have to postulate. Are we limiting this to simply ice cream, or are we going into frozen custard territory? Because I do live
Well,
in the
you can
north.
do
A
that
lot of
too.
the audience
It's
is
more
in
about the
Wisconsin.
flavor. It's more about the flavor. If you want to do like those concrete milkshake things,
So
prep-
we have like rotating. We have places that rotate flavors of the day, and there's like 5 of them within a 20-mile area of me.
was it called Culver's?
I mean, the Culver's is the chain, but we have like a lot of local custard places that rotate their own flavors. So people keep track of like all the different places and all their different flavors, so that you could hit like 5 different places and not get the same thing for the flavor of the day. And it's bonkers how many there are around here. So it's actually really hard to determine like what's a favorite now. But if I had to go for like traditional flavors, then I'd be talking about the things that are up on the shelf, the stuff that I can like buy at the store. But I got to say, I like the fruit stuff a lot. I'm a big mango fan.
We're getting some really interesting answers. So I was recently at Mount Vernon, and they told us 2 different flavors in a time were Parmesan and oyster.
Okay, that's weird.
Yum.
Eh?
Maybe the cheese.
Tim,
The
please tell
cheese
me
and the
you
ice
tried-
cream could probably go together. But
Yeah.
the salty oyster?
Yeah, I don't know. With a little caramel sauce, but in anything that is chocolate, I can go. But
You
here
can-
we go.
Yeah.
So it's like mint and chocolate
They have
together,
that.
but I have no
Yeah.
problem with them
They have
apart.
that wet
And
texture.
A friend of
too.
mine has been to Japan, and she got crab flavored ice cream out of a vending machine there.
okay, there's 2 problems with that: a vending machine ice cream and crab. But does anybody remember one called Tiger Tail? I don't.
Oh, we have a tiger tail in Chile. Cola de tigre.
Is it
They
an
have
ice
vending
cream
machines for
place?
Yeah.
they have
I
vending
don't know
machines
this.
for everything in Japan. So whatever.
And this is good too, because we have most of you around the US, I think. I don't know if it's going further than that, Baskin Robbins. And 2 people have said licorice.
Oh.
I hadn't thought about that.
And
Oh,
here,
that's
Lizzie mentioned pumpkin. I didn't know you could have pumpkin ice cream.
They even have
They make pumpkin spice cannoli, so why not?
I guess.
Oh.
And then Howard
I did
Johnson
not think to have a pumpkin cake.
Diane, what is
Oh,
mayo
yeah.
flavor?
I would do that.
Great.
I was thinking, okay.
I would definitely do that. Now here's another one. So basil, tomato, and Sharon Bear.
Yeah,
I
these
don't
are some
know. I'd
fancy.
be willing to try that, I think.
These
I
are
have
gourmet
tried
flavors.
strawberries and basil.
Was it good?
Good mango.
It's awesome.
Is it ice cream together as an ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
I would. Okay. Now I'm curious on that one. I think I would try that one too. Now I don't know about the orange and licorice. Okay, so Tiger Tail was the orange sherbet and licorice. There we go. So we've got a few that knew that. How many of you used to make snow ice cream? When it snowed, the first snow, you go out, you get it, that big metal bowl from your mom's kitchen.
Usually it's
You
very
load it
small.
up. You put in some evaporated milk or sweetened condensed milk. I'm sorry.
I live in
don't
the
have
city. I don't
snow.
want to imagine what the snow is made of here.
Well, that was the thing. I think it stopped when I was about 7 because they heard of a thing called pollution. So I think they stopped it. Okay, so the next question is in this one. And remember, I said these are all over the place tonight. Tomorrow will be a little bit more goofy. But who was your first celebrity crush that you had that poster up in your room as a kid? As we think about home.
No, I never
Andy
actually
Gibb.
Oh, Andy Gibb.
Yeah.
I know, but
Carrie
you wouldn't
Fisher.
know him.
Stevens is Carrie Fisher. We know that. We know this for a
What?
fact.
Oh no,
Does
no! I
anybody
imagine
know-
you're the one with the bikini shot on the beach with the Carrie Fisher, but
Yeah. Okay,
all
fine.
the water
you're-
splashing up from behind her, right?
I gotta tell you, David Cassidy was
Yeah,
mine.
okay.
I didn't have poster though. I didn't decorate my room posters. David Cassidy was mine, and I know the words to every song that's part
I
of
didn't
your
have a
family
poster.
sang.
Although I
Mine
did
was
like
Luis
Julian
Miguel. I don't know if you've heard of him.
What did he do?
He's a singer.
He's-
He's Mexican.
Gillian Anderson was pretty hot in the 90s. I mean, she
Hey,
still
she's
is.
still pretty good looking, huh?
Yeah,
She still is. Yeah, I'm not saying she
Yeah.
isn't. No,
Yeah.
but as a kid,
yeah. I was waiting for Donny Osmond too. I was waiting for
X-Files.
Yeah.
and Dorian.
Cool.
No posters allowed. A lot of my
Oh.
friends were not allowed to put posters up on their walls. You know, they didn't want the tape. Parents didn't want the tape and the nails or the tacks and stuff like that, or they just didn't want posters.
I was the Ginger Spice guy too.
Ah, the Ginger Spice guy. That tells me a lot about you.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. Whatever Spice Girl is your preference tells you everything you need to know.
The red hair.
Oh, this is a good one. 7th grade teacher.
Poster?
But the Osmonds were very, very David.
Oh, yeah, Flo, actually.
David traveled back in time. So that first question I asked you all about going backwards.
Gary,
David's doing it.
wait a minute.
But I had New Kids on the Block, Jordan and
Oh
Joey.
yeah.
Those were my crushes.
I'm seeing a lot of the Gibb brothers, and Richard Gere was popular, and there we go, New Kids on the Block.
Hey.
So we had a few.
Marky Mark?
Marky Mark. And so this is interesting. I'm seeing a lot of the Gibbs, a lot of the Osmonds. I've seen David Cassidy a few times. So Phyllis Diller.
Vicky, which one's your favorite New Kids on the Block?
Jordan. Jordan and then Joey.
Yeah, Flo.
You know, a lot of ladies around my age like the New Kids on the Block. Yeah.
What was yours, Kathy?
Jordan.
Jordan too?
Yes.
This was popular too, cutting out from magazines. You know, we used to get, what was it, Tiger Beat or something else, and you used to get it and started on the ceiling. Margie, I'm impressed. And if you have a picture of that, you should definitely, of your room like that, you should definitely put it on your profile. I'd be curious to see that. I would definitely be curious.
A little bit myself, and then it translated to mostly alternative metal bands after a while.
That's when you scare the living daylights out of your mother, you know, when for those posters, she walks in your room and go, "What are you looking at?" Okay, so 2 more questions, and again, we're thinking of home. What is your go-to comfort food when you're home?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese, good one.
Like a nice home style, thick,
Mm.
or cheese. Those Bob Evans are pretty good.
That's
I'd
funny. We
say
just had the
cookies.
Bob Evans mashed potatoes tonight.
And I usually end up eating in family style because I'm a family of 4.
Yeah.
The cookies count?
Yeah.
I'm going to die early.
Does what count?
Cookies.
I like
cookies.
that. The Chobani flip yogurts. Those are pretty good.
Oreos don't.
Chips Ahoy. Oh.
Yeah.
See, it's
No,
funny because as expected, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had Oreos dunked in goat milk before. And then, you know, ice cream, the food of the gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, anything with marinara, but I gotta tell you, Tamara, at first when I first saw this at a glance out of my eye, I thought it said anything with margarita. And I was like, I'm down with that.
How much bacon is on your pizza, Ellis? Is it just bacon?
Yeah.
Just tell me it's just bacon.
Roasted beets. That's one's interesting too. Fried chicken, ice cream, crisp pork belly bites. Like you like the real savory, salty. Going with that. And tea, homemade chicken noodle soup, I assume. Chicken soup, thick with veggies. That sounds good. So we're getting a lot of the mac and cheese. And the bacon pizza, fruit. Ruth, we know your fruit you like. She's going to do the pineapple. Another homemade chicken soup, chicken noodle soup. And so the reason again why I'm asking this is if there is a particular recipe or something that you you like, put that in a PDF format. Just type it out on, like, say, Google Docs and save as a PDF, and you can upload that to your profile.
Mm.
And you can say, this is my favorite comfort food that I have. And
That's a good idea.
if you have a recipe, put it up there. And then I also want to mention, if you're working on your ancestors and if you have a recipe from them, then that's a choice too. And those who have never had bacon pizza and those who like bacon pizza, I would agree with that.
Which is mostly bacon.
And this sounds yummy too. Family's recipe from Napoli. So if this is, Dottie, if this is not a secret and you're willing to share, then you could put that up on a PDF. Like I said, you could, if you know the originator of the recipe, or maybe say your grandmother used to make it all the time, put it up on her profile. And because just when you upload a PDF, it acts like it's a photo. So same thing, only different on. So, oh, there you go. If it's handwritten, scan it. Thank you, Flo. That's a good point, because you can actually have their script or their blocks. A few years ago, a cousin took my grandmother's recipe for, I forget what it was now, but it made it on the hand towels that you keep in the kitchen. And ours didn't last that long, but that was a pretty good idea too. Okay, so one last question, kind of thinking about home and going backwards. And again, this is great for your biography. Are you more like your mom, your dad, or someone else in your family?
Depends on my mood.
You have to go
The
here,
event.
really.
It really depends on my mood. You know, so a lot of people say I'm like a lot like my dad. They say I look like him. But if like I get angry or something, a lot of my dad comes out. It's yeah, because he, you know, yeah.
Yeah,
This is it.
probably dad.
Your dad?
I'm more
This
like
is a
my
good one.
mom's,
Yeah.
but I look like my father.
So this is different from Christine. So she looks like her mom and acts like her dad. Now it's really interesting, Vicky, because wouldn't you think that a lot of people go, "Oh, you look just like your dad, and you act just like your dad," but you're opposite. I look like one and act like the other.
Yeah, my brother acts a lot like my mom does, which is interesting. But he's the oldest, so like whatever.
Or I look like my second great grandfather.
Wow.
But not the glasses.
He didn't have glasses, but the parting of the hair was it was weird. Okay, he looks like my dad. So my second great grandfather and my dad look alike, and then I also look like my dad and my mom.
Yeah,
So
my second great grandmother looks a lot like my mom. So
a mommified version of my dad.
Yeah, and it's usual that you may look like your father, for instance, when you were a child, but as you grow old, you start to look like your mother.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I would say mostly, Mel, I was talking about, are you more like in a way of your personality, but also your look? So it goes either way with it. Like, I can tell you that I am almost the spitting image of my mother. People would go into her business, and if I was there and answered the door and I had met her clients or something, they go, "Whoa, you look just like." But then I also I have certain looks, traits of my dad, so it's really, really crazy.
Genetics is crazy.
But and I will say that one of my brothers and his son look identical to our second great grandfather on my mom's side. It's freaky. So it skips generations. That's why I said, or is there someone else in your family? So in that case, that would be looks. But the way that you act your day to day, where did you get your personality traits from?
My cousin Ryan looks almost exactly like our grandfather. Almost exactly, like height, his ears, his eyes, everything looks exactly like my grandfather Bob. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so
and there's another. So if we're talking traits, right? So my grandmother, because she raised me in my early life. and a combo of both. I love this. See, I got my dad's afro.
There's
If you have
nature,
pictures
and then
together,
there's nurture.
and this is tough, and Kathy, this is a tough one for you too, because if you're adopted and then you don't have an idea who maybe your biological parents are, so in that case, then your personality would come from probably your adopted parents. Presumably, not always.
Right. I am very much like my biological mother in certain ways, which I don't like. Just for some of the things, but between my adopted parents, I would say more like my mom.
And again, these are really good bio builders, especially if you have a picture. So, like for D, I would love to see a picture, D, of your dad with his full afro at a certain age, let's say like 35, and then D, I'd like to see you at 35. So you kind of do a combo picture on your profile or your dad's profile, because who doesn't look back and say, in the 1960s and 70s, why did they wear that? Why, when everything comes back around.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to look at the time of the picture and see you captured a small part of your ancestors' world for your descendants. So, and I love this. I'm proud when I can say I'm like my dad. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just totally somebody else. And sometimes it's not. You see your mom in the mirror. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Last chance to type the word selfies. We went a little long. We went a lot long, guys. Sorry about that.
I wanted to answer some of the early questions the Wisconsinites were particularly asking me about. Yes, I'm going to try to go to State Fair. I live just north of there, so I'm not that far away. And maybe we can run into each other, and it'll be a fun little WikiTree reunion.
Reunion. Okay, let's go ahead.
Otherwise, reach out to me on social. Reach out to me on my private message.
WikiTree on Discord.
Yeah, or Discord works too.
Let's go ahead and do the drawing for the prize. I will save the drawing. As always, it gets down to the very end of the drawing and it slows down and you're like, I won, and then boom.
No.
And then we didn't. So let's go ahead and do the drawing and see who won.
Yay!
Prize. Good luck, everybody. Amanda!
Hey, Amanda!
Congratulations! As you know, what you need to do is wait till the end of the thon and give a winner, a day or two to get everything together. She'll reach out to you. You don't have to do anything but sit back and do the connect-a-thon, and she will get back in touch with you, find out all the details, and she will be sending the prize that you select a long way. She's going to be sending it all the way across the ocean to you. So congratulations. There will be another hangout, and this will be with Alesh and Darren, right? Are you going to be at the next one?
Yeah.
In about 3 hours. So definitely show up. But if you do show up at the next one, definitely ask Alesh to help you out with your guessing of the total number, because he has good ideas and good stats that he shows generally around that time. And Chris, I'll see you back at noon Eastern time tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Maybe Steven. And then I will see everybody here.
Yeah, maybe a different
back
setup.
at Midnight Madness. Now, I'll warn you, Midnight Madness on the last night, we're all tired, we're all happy, we're all silly. So it's a little bit more upbeat and fun, and kind of crazy questions. We'll go along too. So don't forget, I challenge you to put your selfie up there. So let's see everybody's selfie. You did? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, guys.
See you.
Right.
All right.
See if I got